Hi, Steve Gamache here with a Chef Knives to Go quick look product video, and we are looking at the Kurosaki Westerner Yo handled R-2 Gyuto 240mm knife. This beautiful piece of craftsmanship has a core steel of R-2 powdered metallurgy stainless steel. The heat treat's about 62 to 63 Rockwell on that core steel, and the construction is a stainless steel cladding with a beautifully done hammered finish on each side of that core steel for a 3-layer sandwich, so it's an all stainless blade. It's pretty hard to pick up the delineation between the core steel and the edge and the cladding, but we'll look at it closer. The weight on the knife is fairly substantial at 9.1 ounces, 259 grams. The blade length, these are pretty big blades. It's much larger than its 210 little brother. So this is about 248 on the edge on this particular sample, almost a 250mm knife. And the overall length is about 15.4 inches, 392mm. The thickness on these are fairly thin for the hammered knives that they are at the top and the spine. So they're about 2mm here, and they come down, pretty much hold that 2mm until you hit the grind of the knife about right here at the tip and on into thinning down at the tip. So they don't have a terrible amount, or I should say a ton of distal taper. They hold that thickness pretty much all the way through. The blade height is 52.6 millimeters back here at the heel chin area, and then the handle is kind of what sets these knives apart and really adds to the luxurious look and feel to the knife. So they've got a black micarta Western scaled handle with a brass bolster, and they cut the micarta and sanded it in such a way that it shows the layers of the micarta and almost has a carbon fiber kind of look to it. It's really cool. You've got a mosaic pin in the middle, and the handle is fairly thin. It's got kind of that Coke bottle look to it. Fairly thin this way, but it's got some width this way. Very rounded curves on it, and it's just very, very comfortable in the hand. I think it should hold a variety of hand sizes pretty well. You could do a nice racket grip with it, or you've got a great curve here in the Imolto neck into the choil area. It's seamless pretty much right here with the handle, so it just flows real nice for a pinch grip. Great fit and finish all the way around. I'll give this a good 6 out of 10 for the out-of-box edge. And let's take a closer look. This has just really nice hammering on either side. You can see how pretty that is. And then you've got some chiseled kanji on the right side of the blade. And again, equally nice hammering done on the left side of the blade. You can kind of barely see the cladding line right there. It's even hard to pick up with the naked eye. Let's look at the handle. Again, just a beautiful, gorgeous handle. Mosaic pin in the middle, great fit and finish, nice polished brass bolster. And you can see the look of that micarta showing through there. It's really a cool effect. The profile on these blades, the 210 and the 240, has got quite a bit more of a flat spot towards the heel than his other lines, like the Megumi line. I've got the 240. That's more of a continuous curve. This one has a bit of a flat spot towards the heel and then a gentle belly towards the tip. Even the wah-handled R2 versions have a little less flat spot than these. And let's take a look at it on the board. I wouldn't say this is a super flat blade, but it's got, as I said, more of a flat spot than some of his other offerings. So you'll see it flows into a decent flat spot towards the back third or so of the blade, and then a gentle curve to the belly of the knife towards the tip. This knife won't go real high. It's before it starts digging in, but if you've sharpened it a little bit different towards the tip, you might be able to gain some height if you really want to rock with this thing. I'd say it's more of a general purpose profile, where you've got some nice rocking you can get into, a very smooth flow into a bit of a heel, or I should say a flat spot at the heel of the knife, so I think it should support a pretty wide variety of techniques. If you like to exclusively chop and push cut and you want a lot longer flat spot, this is probably not quite the blade for you, but I think it's a pretty good general purpose profile. Feels really nice on a cutting board. Let's see, balance point on this is just in front of the bolster, so it's near a pinch grip, depending on how big your hands are. So for me, it's just behind the pinch grip, which gives it a pretty nimble feel despite the length of the blade. Again, it's a pretty long blade. If you racket grip, you'll get a bit more of a blade-heavy forward feel to it. So I think they've got a good compromise here in the balance point on the blade. Again, great fit and finish, just a gorgeous blade. If you've got the coin and this knife looks interesting, it is more beautiful in person. Just opening up the box, it's usually you should be wowed. So anyway, Kurosaki Western R-2 Gyuto 2 40mm knife.